Alright, welcome back to my channel. So, this is a recent update for the new Jurassic World sequel. It stars Scarlett Johansson and a bunch of other new actors. She's got all these crazy piercings going on. I don't know what the heck this is. This guy kind of reminds me of Dr. Richard Levine from the Lost World novel. It's not him, it's a different character, but that's kind of what it reminded me of. This franchise is taking a weird turn again, and I think it's strange that they're still calling it Jurassic World, because this has nothing to do with Jurassic World anymore. It does deal with the fallout of those events, but I don't know, it's just getting kind of strange. Garth Edwards directing. This is Scarlett Johansson and Jonathan Bailey in Jurassic World Rebirth. Why don't they just call it Jurassic Rebirth? I don't know. I think it's strange that they're still calling it Jurassic World for a brand new trilogy. I tend to be sort of critical of these things, and I don't have a lot of hope for movies in general. So that's why I don't do movie reviews on my channel. I think there's already about a billion other channels out there dedicated solely to movie reviews, and I only watch a couple of them. Some good channels for movie review, or at least, old movies and like video essays and stuff. A channel called Represent This, and another one called Collative Learning. Yeah, Collative Learning with Rob Ager, if you want to see movie reviews. But I felt I wanted to talk about this new Jurassic Park that's coming out. This franchise is never going to end. I really don't think Jurassic Park needed a sequel. And for all the people out there who say, well, if there's ideas in Jurassic World that link to Michael Crichton and what he thought would have been cool, well, probably not. He only wrote a sequel because kids wanted to read a sequel. He got a lot of letters from children, so Crichton decided, and he was also talking with Spielberg about a sequel, and so he wrote a sequel called The Lost World. And I don't know what Spielberg was thinking with The Lost World and turning it into some crazy popcorn thing with T-Rex and San Diego at the end. It has nothing to do with the book. And even the first 3/4 of the movie on the island were sort of different from the story in the book. I mean, there's different characters and different events, and it just becomes kind of silly after a while. I don't really care for the sequels. I mean, they're sort of fun to watch, but the movie that I really enjoy is the first film. I mean, it is hands down the best. And I do have a bit of criticism here, so let's get on with what this says. It's just a very brief thing, and you can find this again. You can find it. This exact article is cloned everywhere with the same picture, the same text on all these stupid, websites like these blogs, Hollywood Reporter, and a slew of others. Okay, so studio announced that director Garth Edwards' movie, which is set to hit theaters July 2nd, 2025, Jurassic World Rebirth. All right, so first, two first-look images showing lead Scarlett Johansson, Jonathan Bailey, and Mahershala Ali, who star in the film alongside all of these people. Jurassic World Rebirth takes place 5 years after the events of Jurassic World Dominion, and So even characters from the previous trilogy aren't even mentioned here. Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard. Okay. In the new movie, only a limited number of dinosaurs remain and live in specialized biospheres. Three of these creatures hold the key to a potentially life-saving drug. See, this is where I get kind of critical of movies in general. This whole, not to go on some philosophical morality rant or anything, but something about this is kind of bugging me. And it's this whole greater good thing, or the greater thing. Let's call it that, the greater thing. So in the new movie, they all live in specialized biospheres. And three of these creatures hold the key to a potentially life-saving drug. All right, so covert operations attempt to secure genetic material from the dinosaurs. They end up stranded with a civilian family on an island that holds a secret being kept from humanity for decades. Okay, well, not millions of years, but only decades. So I imagine something that links to the first movie, or something before it, maybe. I don't know. Something that links to the first film. But it's this life-saving drug thing. So something that the writers ran into was, how do we keep getting people to go back to the island? And that's why they destroyed the island in the second Jurassic World movie. They obliterated it with a volcano eruption, which I thought was dumb. And so they have to bring in this new, greater thing, right? And that's what destroyed the third film in the Jurassic series, was the idea that you have to have this greater thing going on with the whole locust subplot. I mean, it's sort of interesting that, this company takes over, they want to take over the food supply. I get it, but we don't really need that in this movie. And I don't care, and I don't think anybody who wants to watch these movies is going to care one way or another. They're not going to care why people go to the island. In fact, if you want to connect to the audience here, the only reason the audience is going to see these movies anymore is to see dinosaurs, take their kids to see dinosaurs. So if the characters in the movie are just going there to see dinosaurs, that's fine. And if you have these specialized biospheres, it doesn't say how many, a limited number of dinosaurs, and they live in specialized biospheres. Maybe you have like 10 of them, and you have events happening on each one with, different characters and sometimes recurring ones. It doesn't matter. The whole idea behind the second book, The Lost World, had nothing to do with a greater good, or nothing to do with anything. Dr. Malcolm, the character, he talks about greater good stuff or greater thing stuff. But the whole point behind Jurassic Park is that, there's this greater, people are trying to do this for business, and then people start bringing in greater good stuff. And it all just kind of stops being important after a while. And the only thing that matters is survival. And that's true to the first book and movie and everything. The first film covered the greater thing when it talked about the implications of bringing back prehistoric animals. And so that was all covered in the novel, in the first film. The second book talks more about extinction. And what I'm saying here is that really all they wanted to do in the second book was go find this Site B and look at the dinosaurs and study them and see if they were headed toward extinction and what was going on with them. It wasn't a rescue mission. I mean, the characters in the book already planned to go to this island. It's just that one of them found it first. Okay, he got there first. And so the other people had to follow suit, but they were already well aware of where they had to go and what they had to do. And the whole idea behind it was that they were just going to go to an island full of dinosaurs and study them. It's really that simple. We don't have to bounce back and forth. Oh, why are the characters going to the island again? Because there's dinosaurs there. You don't need another reason. I don't need another reason. I don't have enough invested in any of these sequel characters to give a shit what happens to them, let alone why they decide to go to the island. I imagine it's to go see dinosaurs. And you can say I'm getting too upset about it, but this is one of the reasons that movies suck so bad, is because they keep trying to milk something that you don't really need to. And if you're going to do it, you can afford to be really basic in your approach. And it might even benefit the story, okay? They're rolling off the previous trilogy that dinosaurs were released into the world. Now they're back in biospheres, okay? It's not just the one island anymore. And even if it was, it wouldn't matter because the characters are going there to see dinosaurs. To study them or just to look at them. Not everything has to have a greater thing attached to it. And in this franchise, they've basically milked that to every last drop. We got it in the first movie. It's not a good idea to bring dinosaurs back. And what are the implications of them being mixed with mankind and the rest of the world? In the first novel, the dinosaurs were actually getting off the island. I'm not going to spoil the book for you, but you see the dinosaurs within a few chapters on the mainland. So, there's this life-saving drug, and movies do this all the time. You hear characters, especially in like superhero movies or whatever, they're always talking about, this is greater than all of us. This is bigger than you and me. This is bigger than all of us. It's getting really old and stupid. And it just needs to stop. We don't need the greater thing in every single goddamn movie out there. We don't need it. Okay, especially this. And it's already been done. We've seen worldwide implications of dinosaurs. And at the end of Dominion, they were like getting along with everything in some really idiotic, coexist montage of dinosaurs and modern animals and all that. Dominion was a pretty bad movie. It's really sad that all these old actors, have to return after 30 years to be in these really bad, sorry, piece of shit reboots. I mean, there's no reason for it. And so, anyway, get back to this stuff. They end up stranded with a civilian family who's out there on an island. But there's a secret being kept from humanity. I think it's just something of box office bait. That's all these articles are anyway, but, the big secret, ooh, what is it? We don't need a big secret. Withheld from humanity. It's sort of catchy, okay, there's a big secret, but, I mean, is it bigger than dinosaurs? Doubtful. Hopefully I'm wrong. So David Koepp. I think that's how you pronounce his last name, Koepp. He worked on Jurassic Park and The Lost World. Let's just say he worked on Jurassic Park, okay. New movie is based on characters created by Crichton. What? Are they going to mention? It looks like a whole new cast here. I mean, and I was looking at another website, And none of the characters have names from anybody in the books. This guy kind of reminds me of Levine from the Lost World novel, and his character was not in the Lost World movie. But it's not him. It's maybe they just, I don't know what the heck they're doing anymore, but um, 3 years after the Jurassic World trilogy concluded with Dominion. Okay. And this is set 5 years later. You might say, well, they got to have a reason to be on the island. The dinosaurs are a good enough reason. Let's go there and see how they're doing and if they need help. Are they getting sick? How are they? I mean, they're going there to study. And, well, it's a reserve, so you have to do it with your own money and your own equipment. Okay, we're going to go do it. And they do it. We don't need this greater thing, because if you're based on something like that, this greater thing all the time, your movie's going to suck. It's just got to go away. And no one's going to go watch this to see anything that they haven't already seen. We're going to see dinosaurs kill people. We're going to see the nice herbivore dinosaurs. People are going to be stranded on the island. And I don't care for the character arcs. That's another thing, is even the first movie had virtually no character arcs at all. The characters were the same individuals and didn't go through any real big changes, except for Grant with kids. But that was kind of destroyed in Jurassic Park 3, which is fine. Maybe he didn't change. That's okay. None of the characters changed. Grant was still awkward with kids in Jurassic Park 3. And him and Sattler decided not to be a couple. He didn't want kids. So what? He didn't change. Big deal. Malcolm, he became more serious. He's very funny and outgoing in the first half, but then after his injury, he becomes more serious, and he is in the second movie. But he doesn't really change either. Muldoon didn't change. None of the characters changed or went through any great arc. And they're some of the most memorable characters in cinema history. They didn't really go through any arc. The tables sort of turned on Muldoon, but not really. He knew the raptors were dangerous, and right from the beginning, the camera is close up on his eyes while he's trying to save that guy. He's obviously in fear of the raptors. He doesn't like them. And he didn't know they were going to ambush him like that. He didn't really know their hunting behavior, which worked in the movie. The pen was really small. They didn't really get to see any of their hunting or coordination behavior. He didn't know. Anyway, yeah, no one. Oh, Hammond did. He went through. No, he didn't. He was the same guy at the end of the movie that he was in the beginning. He was just sad and upset that all of this catastrophe happened. The events of the movie didn't really change him as a character. His character just responded, okay, well, obviously no one's going to endorse my park because of this insanity that's going on. I mean, what's he going to do? So no one had to go through a character arc. I saw a video by somebody that said, in Jurassic World, Claire, played by Bryce Dallas Howard, goes through a sort of character arc. She goes from cold corporate lady, not caring about her, nephews or whoever they were, her family members, brushing everybody off, and then later becoming more of a mother figure. And I guess that's okay to do. But this This is something where we don't have to be overcomplicated. Like this video I'm making is overcomplicated, maybe unnecessary, but if I have any 2 cents in here, it's that everything's been done. The only reason people are going to go see this is to see dinosaurs and people running from them. And maybe to see the dinosaurs do new things. You know, more hunting behavior with the raptors. It's kind of been a theme. It was in Jurassic Park 3, you know, the idea was something, the Lost World said something has survived. Number 3 said something has evolved. And the opening music for Jurassic Park 3 is some of my favorite, actually, because it goes back to that first movie with the doom, you know, and the choir. That really ominous music in the very beginning of the Jurassic Park movie. And they did that with number 3. If you listen to that music in the beginning, like, you know, something's evolving, something weird and mysterious is happening. We never got a clear experience of what that was in Jurassic Park 3, other than the raptors had very strange variations in their looks. And they were led by an alpha female that was sort of, you know, like that white raptor, and then it had all the other dark male ones around. And then they sort of took that pattern design from number 3 and put it onto the raptors for Jurassic World. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying or that it's important. This movie is just going to be people getting chased by dinosaurs, hopefully, and nothing too big at the end of it, because it's already been done, and I'm just repeating myself now. So let's see here. Anything else? Surpassed 1 billion at the global box office. Global box office. So this guy here, you know, he's screaming. He sees a big dinosaur, not sure which one it is. We got the flare thing going on for some reason. I would not be holding a flare. Ever. Just saying. That's another thing that needs to end too. These tips of the hat or homages to the old movies. Just stop doing that. We don't need this weird, sentimental, nostalgic garbage, okay? I liked Jurassic Park 3 because it did offer something new. We got to see a couple of huge dinosaurs fight. We got to see a really huge new dinosaur. I wasn't sad that T-Rex lost the fight. I actually liked Spinosaurus a lot. I like both of them, but you know, T-Rex was pretty worn out after the second movie. And the Spinosaurus was pretty scary. You know, it was huge. I mean, it had hands. It was definitely bigger than the T-Rex, and it was cool to see. I tracked that film when I was a teenager. I was probably, let's see here. Wow, so I was probably 14, and then 15 when it came out. I think I was 15. I tracked that film on the old dial-up web of 2000 and 2001. And there were a lot of fans, and we tracked that movie, and everybody was excited to see the Spinosaurus, to see the return of Grant. And there were mixed feelings about the movie after it came out. You know, I think most people enjoyed it. And now suddenly it has this huge, everyone hates the Spinosaurus or something. I don't know, back then people thought it was okay. It didn't get great reviews, but I would actually take Jurassic Park 3 over what they did to The Lost World, what they did to the novel, and what they did to the movie itself. It was pretty bad. didn't care for the gymnastics with the girl kicking the raptor in the face or any of that stuff. It was really stupid. And Spielberg, in my opinion, was an idiot for making those sequences. The whole San Diego thing was incredibly stupid. And it's my opinion that, other than Saving Private Ryan, which I have mixed feelings about, I think Jurassic Park was probably Spielberg's last great movie that I know of. So anyway, this is coming out soon. It's just going to be more dinosaurs. You know, it would be cool if they introduced something here that made it different and interesting. I'm always glad when movies do that. I'm not saying don't try to do that, but if you're going to do it well. And in this franchise, keep in mind that everything has pretty much been done at this point. You can't really do a whole lot more other than people in peril with dinosaurs. This thing with the drug just seems more like of the big thing to justify this movie, and you don't need to. You don't need the potentially life-saving drug. You just don't. Anyway, I think that's all I've got. So I should have some more videos coming out. I've got a couple new dinosaurs to show off, and I still have to show off at least my Jurassic Park collection of dinosaurs and a few other things. So stick around, and I'll try to get those when I can. I just work a lot, so videos aren't exactly on the regular all the time, but I'm sure if you like and subscribe, you'll get the notifications when they do happen. Am I looking forward to this movie? I wouldn't say any more than any of the other ones. You know, they're advertising this with nostalgia. They're saying we're going back to the basics here, you know, and it doesn't look very basic to me. It looks like they have a bunch of weak plot devices, I guess you call them. And trying to hold up this movie to make it grand or something. There's a reason for this. Why not just make the dinosaurs the reason? You have what is it, Camp Cretaceous? I haven't seen this. I don't watch it, but you know, that's just about people and dinosaurs in peril. So why can't the movies be that? And we'll see what happens. I mean, Jurassic World was just okay. I did not care for the design of the Indominus Rex or the Indoraptor or any of that weird stuff. I did not care for it. So hopefully there won't be any more stupid hybrids in this movie. That might be a plus. This is Scarlett Johansson. You know, Hollywood's going to use her because she's a face that people like to see. After her nonsense with I don't know who, with you know, her Marvel movies or whatever, you know, she's also trying to milk something to get money because, you know, she's getting older. She's looking for stuff. I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting to be in a Jurassic Park movie, but I think all around, this is just people trying to milk the franchise. And it's already been destroyed. It was destroyed with The Lost World. They put a band-aid on the franchise with Jurassic Park 3, in my opinion, to make it more of what Sam Neill called a summer popcorn movie, something along those lines, which it was. And you were just watching people run in peril from dinosaurs trying to survive. It didn't have to be a long movie. You know, it made its point. And then Jurassic World came along, And it was okay. You know, it wasn't terrible. You just get to see a fully operating park fail this time. So, I don't know. I'm not looking forward to it a lot. I'm actually looking forward to the third Jurassic Evolution game, and I really wish that they would release a more horror-based first-person or survival thriller version of a Jurassic Park game. Apparently, somebody was trying to make one, and then Universal said, "Oh no, it's too accurate. You're gonna people are gonna be confused and think that it's a actual release," and so they had to rebrand the entire game. Um, and these builder games are fun, but Jurassic Park is supposed to be a thriller, and it's supposed to play on the very, uh, antics of human interest in doing things with science. Where it all seems really spectacular in the beginning, but then it backfires and turns into something very scary. And I think we should have a scary Jurassic Park game at some point. I would really look forward to that. One that's not woke, okay? I don't need the feminist version of Jurassic Park. I really do not. I don't need the feminist version of anything. That's just my opinion. And I don't think the Jurassic movies, they were a little bit woke. They had some pretty weak characters in there, mostly side characters. Uh, I don't think it was excessively woke. Hopefully, this one won't be. Maybe the Jurassic franchise can kind of, dodge that whole woke cesspool and just kind of maybe just pass it along the edge like it did with the Jurassic World trilogy, and maybe just be one of the few franchises that kind of gets away from that whole scene, and remains unscathed for the most part. That would be nice. I mean, it's already had its own damage, like I've talked about here, with all of these movies and stuff. The first Jurassic Park is one of the greatest movies ever made, hands down. Not just for the visual effects and everything, but the way the plot is handled, the way the script is written, everything's great. It's a great movie. And it's a gem because it does hold all that wonder and stuff that the rest of these movies don't have. They just sort of touch up on. Anyway, I'm done talking about this. It's been a long dinosaur week for me. I just got back from the Redwoods. I found a dinosaur store on the coast that I never knew existed. It's called Prehistoric, and they have everything I could ever want in that store. Well, three-quarters of everything I could want. And I did get a T-Rex, and I'll make a video showcasing that one. And I'll show it next to my Spinosaurus. So anyway, that's it. Thank you. Take care.